Hello, my friends, and welcome to the first ever Sunscreen Sunday. Can you imagine the unbridled creativity a person must have to name their sunscreen series Sunscreen Sunday? Of course, this isn't the only sunscreen review I've done on this channel. I'll put together a playlist, but something I've really been thinking about is how hard it is to find the right sunscreen for each of our needs, so I am going to start doing more reviews dedicated to sunscreen. And I want to put these sunscreens to the test. So the one we're going to be using today is the new Kinship Self-Reflect Sport SPF 60. This is sweat and water resistant for 80 minutes, and we're going to test those claims. They say it's a sport sunscreen, so we are going to go for a jog and we are going to go to the pool. By the way, this is not a first impression. I've been trying this out for a while, so I kind of know where I stand, but we're going to finalize those thoughts with these great experiments. So let's start off with an intro, the basics on this Kinship sunscreen. It is an all-mineral sunscreen containing 24% zinc oxide. This sunscreen retails for $28 for 1.7 ounces. I purchased mine from Ulta and will include a link to the Ulta website in the description box below. It says it is sweat and water resistant for 80 minutes, clean, cruelty-free, vegan, and dermatologist tested. I will put the full ingredients list up on the screen for you to look through if you do have allergies, and we will be doing the 2-finger application today of this SPF 60 product. Now again, this is not a first impression, so I'm going to tell you honestly, the very first time I ever applied this to my skin, I did find myself going, where did I put my receipt? And my dear friends, you are about to see why. Okay, so we're going to start with 1 finger of this mineral sunscreen. Again, remember, with this being a supposedly sport sunscreen, it does say it is an SPF 60, and that's pretty high. That's a high SPF. We typically see people prefer SPF of around 30, although SPF of at least 50 is getting more popular. I gotta comment something really quickly. It is amazing how strong the smell of this is. It's something where when I smelled the product from inside the tube, I didn't smell very much, but as I apply it to my skin, it smells like I'm surrounded by marshmallow fluff. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Some honest thoughts with the application. I do think it's an SPF of 60, a mineral SPF of 60, and it actually feels nice on. If you tried the original Kinship, it feels kind of thick, yes, and so does this one, if not even thicker, but not drying. It does not feel drying. However, this takes a very long time to buff into your skin. A very long time. And you have to keep buffing it, because if you don't, you could end up with like these little powdery looking patches on your skin where you didn't buff in enough. So plan to spend at least 5 minutes buffing with this one. But will you be protected from the sun's rays, and will you not feel dried out? Yeah. You also have to really buff right here. Watch YouTube make that the little preview, the little animated preview. People will just be scrolling their YouTube feed and all of a sudden they see. Okay, I think we're coming to the end of the buffing here. You could see, I mean, this is a greasy looking sunscreen, but I didn't expect anything other than that, given what I knew about Kinship's other sunscreen, given that this is Sport SPF 60. It's actually pretty much what I expected. No, oh my god, I still got a buff. I didn't look close enough. Sorry, I still got more I gotta buff in. Let's do it. Let's do some final thoughts on the Kinship Sport SPF 60. So as you all know, I don't like to just say a product is good or bad. I like to describe it because I think we all have different preferences. We're all looking for different things. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you all the details of this sunscreen. Before I do that, I do feel like at least some amount of people clicked this video to find out about whether this sunscreen is waterproof or not. So I do want to say something really important really quickly. So on a technicality, the FDA in the United States does not allow the use of the word waterproof on sunscreens. The best you can do is water resistant, and even that is categorized into different levels. This one does happen to have the highest level at that water resistant for 80 minutes level. In my experience, I would say it held up well in the pool for me, but I want to make sure I'm emphasizing that that's my opinion. It's a tricky conversation. It's the same reason I don't want to say, well, I know it's an SPF of 60. I'm not out here running spectroscopy on this sunscreen. So in short, I think this sunscreen does actually deliver on its claims, and in fact, it stands out from the other water-resistant sunscreens that I've tried. But I want to make sure I emphasize, I think that's its real strength. If this is a sunscreen you are considering for day-to-day use in the office type of setting, I don't think you need this. I tend to feel that it would be overkill in an office setting. It does have the drawbacks of a high SPF mineral sunscreen. It does have a white cast, such a white cast that I feel like it made my teeth look kind of yellow, meaning you not only have to watch out for what lipsticks you choose, but your sunscreen. But if you are looking for a water-resistant sunscreen, what really stands out to me about this is that it is not a drying product. Listen, in all of the years of wearing mineral sunscreen that I've done, I feel at this point that it's the minerals themselves that are drying. Meaning I truly think it's just a characteristic of titanium dioxide or zinc oxide. Think about it. What are your face powders? Minerals. But I think Kinship delivered on this with their original sunscreen, and I think they did it again with the SPF of 60. Now, to elaborate on my experience with jogging with this, as well as swimming with this sunscreen on, first of all, I feel like maybe I wasn't the best person to test it for running purposes. I kind of forgot that I don't really sweat much from my face. I only really sweat right around my hairline. So for as much effort as I put into that, and now my calves are sore, I feel like I have an inconclusive data set there. However, I will warn you of something if you have a similar hair type to me, if you have long hair. I will even include a video. I did notice a bit of a drawback in encountering wind. The sunscreen feels moisturizing, it does feel heavy, and it does look greasy. And it turns out, if the wind smacks your hair up against your face, it's kind of hard to get your hair back out of your face. It really sticks to the sunscreen. So yes, there is indeed a sticky element to this sunscreen, but I think that's actually what made it so good for swimming, at least in my experience. Every time I checked on this sunscreen, it was still on my face while I was in the pool. I think it's because the ultimate texture of this on your skin, it kind of feels a little similar to something like Vaseline. Meaning, yeah, it doesn't budge. If you splash yourself with water, it's not going anywhere. You could possibly rub it off, I suspect, maybe. But for me to get it off, I did have to use a cleansing balm afterwards. Or a cleansing oil or micellar water. It's not impossible to remove, but you will need something other than just a basic cleanser. Absolutely. So to wrap up all of my thoughts into a nice little gift box for you, I really think that this sunscreen is for anybody who is looking for a water-resistant sunscreen that is really going to be water-resistant and is not going to be drying. It does that, and it does that well. By the way, I mentioned the scent earlier in this video. It is primarily coming from vanilla, so do make sure you're not allergic to that. But also worth noting, it doesn't linger through the day. But that's it. I hope this video helped you out. Let me know in the comment section below if any of you have tried this as well. Feel free to share your thoughts. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and I will see you all next time.